Hello everybody, my name is Haydn and I am a full-time software engineer based in London. In this video tutorial series, we're going to be talking about inheritance in Python and how to use it and how powerful it can be for your application. So let's jump into it. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is pick up off a video that I did last week about classes and objects in Python. If you haven't watched that video, there will be a link somewhere that pops up here or in the description. Please go back and watch that video so you're up to speed, but basically we're going to be following on from that. But let's jump over to PyCharm now. So I'm here in PyCharm and last week we created this Python person class in Python, which is great. It has lots of features on it and it's super powerful and easy to use. Now what I want to talk about is inheritance in Python. Inheritance in Python is kind of, as it sounds, you're going to inherit things from something else. So let's say we have this person class, which is just kind of a default thing about a person. So it's got their kind of a greeting and if they're an adult or not. But let's say we want to extend off that. So let's say something like, we have a type of person, which is a person, but we could have a teacher, which is also a type of person, or maybe a student, which is also another type of person. And we can use Python inheritance to basically define this and make our code a lot simpler to use because you're not redefining classes, but you're inheriting everything from the previous one. So for example, a teacher and a student will inherit everything from their kind of like the person class and all the things that they want because they're all similar things, but also add a little bit of functionality just specifically for them. So for example, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make another class called teacher, which inherits from the person class. Now to inherit for something, you have to define it like you would normally do a class, but open brackets and put the name of the other class in here. Now this means that if I don't do anything here, I want to show you just, what we do already. And this is the same code that we created last week. I'm just, oh golly, what's happened there? I'm just going to take the teacher class and I'm going to make everything rather than a person, I'm going to make it a teacher this time. And you can see I don't get any syntactical errors here because teacher inherits everything from person, which means that because I'm inheriting from person, I've already got the greet method and I've already got the isAdult method because I'm inheriting all them things from what's called the base class, the base class being the person. So the teacher is looking at what it inherits from, in this case person, grabbing all the methods that it's got for that, putting it on itself, and then overriding or implementing new ones. But as you can see here, I don't actually do anything yet with teacher, but I just want to prove that if I run this now, nothing breaks because teacher is inheriting everything from person. Now let's have a little look. So our code here says we greet the person and then we see if an adult. So let's say, if we're a teacher, we want to do a different greeting for a teacher, and then if it's a student, we want to do a different greeting for a student. So what we can say is if we can come here, we can basically overwrite a method. So I'm going to say I want to override the greet method. Now in order to override the greet method, I have to call it exactly the same name and then declare it on the thing. So here I'm actually going to say you are a teacher. Thanks for teaching everyone. Is what I'm going to say if you're a teacher. So you can see here now I've overridden the greet method on the teacher class, but all these people are teachers. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to run this now, and you can see what's happened here is that my greet method has changed because now we're taking this from the teacher method. So I'm now taking the you are a teacher, thanks for teaching everyone, which is this kind of line that's been printed out here. We're not printing out hello anymore. We're not printing out hello name anymore. Because we have a little bit more information. We know that for a teacher we want to do something slightly different, so we're going to do it this way. So let's say let's change that back to person. I just want to kind of emphasize this point a little bit more. So you can see here when we iterate through, and Haydn's the first person in this, when we greet Haydn is a teacher. So Haydn we go into this greet method and we ignore the one in the person class because we've overridden it in the teacher class. And then when we go to Bob and we greet Bob, we get hello Bob, because Bob is just a person now. So we're getting this hello Bob here, and then which comes from the base class because it's not a teacher, it's just a person, because you can see Bob here is a person. And similarly, we get you're a teacher, blah, 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 for Sally. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another class called student. So we're going to have a student class, which again inherits from person. And this is going to say you are a student, hit the books or something, as in like. So you can see Haydn can be a teacher, Bob's going to be, actually no. Because Bob's 15, Bob's going to be a student, and Sally is just going to be a person because she's 18. So what I'm going to do now is run this, and in fact I'm just going to get rid of this log line just because I think it's causing a bit of noise for the demo. So you can see here we now got 3 different things. So every time we go through persons now, we're calling the greet method, and depending which object the person is, if it's a teacher, a student, or a person, we're getting a different greet method, because although we're inheriting everything from them, we're overriding them and we're doing different things. So for Haydn, I get a teacher. In fact, I can actually even say, let's do this better. So why is it not also completing? So let's put self.name. Haydn is a teacher. Name. You might be going, where are you getting self.name is because there's no instantiation method here. But basically, because we're coming from person, we've got everything the person has, and person has self.name, so we're inheriting them as well. So this hopefully will be a little bit more obvious now. So you can see, look, Haydn is a teacher. Thanks for teaching everyone. Bob is a student. Hit the books. Bob is definitely a student. And hello Sally, because hello Sally is just a person. So you can see how we're kind of overriding the methods and inheriting from everything else. So we're getting everything the base class has, which is person, and then inheriting and doing more things for that. So hopefully that makes sense. This is the kind of bread and butter of what you need to know for overriding methods in Python. You get all the variables that are set on the kind of base class. You can even define your own variables on these if you so wish. So for example, for a student, I can say I want to inherit everything that comes from the person. So on the person we have name and age, and we're passing it into the kind of super, so the super class, you're going up to the super class this. And then I can also say actually also, you know, let's say school is equal to school, but for a student I also want to pass in a school as well. You are a student at self.school, and you can see the student, I've now got a little wiggly line here because student wants a little bit more information, so I'm going to say the school is called, I don't know, London City School or something. Just made that up. I don't think there probably is one called that, but there we go. So you can see now, for a student we've got a little bit extra more information. So but for example, teacher wouldn't have this information because we're overriding the init method as well here on the student object. So hopefully this makes sense. When you're making classes, you can inherit from other classes. So teacher can inherit from person, and then teacher will get everything that person gets, and you can override things on person. You can also do multiple inheritance. So there can be something that inherits from teacher. So you can have like head teacher that does something different, which inherits from teacher, which then inherits from person. So you can keep going like that. What I want you to mainly get your head around is that you can have these different objects that have these different you have different objects that all inherit from the same one, which inherits all the kind of functions and methods on that, all the variables that are on that class, and then you can implement your own thing. So hopefully that made sense. Hopefully that was obvious how you can kind of inherit from things. So you have a person, which is kind of like your base object, which has lots of methods on it that you can do for all the same things. Let's say you've got like I don't know, another example would be like a team, and then from team that you've got like a soccer team, a football team, you know, I don't know, an NFL team, an ice hockey team, a basketball team, different teams that come off these things that do slightly different things. But rather than duplicating code everywhere and putting it into all the classes, you can have a base class which kind of abstracts out all that code and puts it into a base class, and then you have this one, and then they all inherit from that class, which means they all get the things. And it's a really good way to reduce your complexity of your application and your code, because you're pushing everything into the base class, having a standardized way of doing it, and then you're just inheriting and overriding things in the kind of children classes or child classes of what you really need to do. I hope you found this video useful. Please do like and subscribe. If you did, there's more videos like this on my channel, so please do go check them out. I do JavaScript tutorials, website tutorials, Python tutorials, and various other coding tutorials. And if you have any questions, please do comment down below. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.